in the past that 4 years ago, a friend of mine, we had an argument, and he started going around, and it's not about even gender anymore. It's about trusting people. He would go around and show a picture of a it was a little, and he would go around showing and sending that picture saying it was mine. And it got to the point where I could not leave my house, go outside on my town, in my town, and go have some fun. I don't know, even just to go to eat some food without being recognized by some people, because I'm still known in my town, and I would just, there would be groups of kids laughing at me openly, laughing at me, saying offensive things to me. So I guess this is just a trust issue.
So let me try to help a little bit. Keep in mind, it's easier said than done, especially when you're a kid, right? But this is the ultimate truth, and the moment you start to realize this, then your life will improve, all right? So listen very carefully here. The truth is, what people think of you is always reflective of how you react to the situation, right? Because think about it this way. If people make fun of you and laugh, and you just laugh and say, yeah, that's me for sure, like, it's kind of hard for them to keep laughing at you, because at that point it's like, oh, well, this guy kind of like accepts it, and then they have like nothing to laugh, because if they don't get anything from you, what's the point of them laughing at you, right? Like when people bully somebody, it's always for some sort of a reaction, typically an emotional reaction, right? But if you don't give them an emotional reaction, it's not interesting anymore, right? People get stimulation by other people being emotional, and if you don't give them that benefit, then you will never have this problem again. Now, like I said, this is very, very difficult to implement, because obviously when you start from a position of being very emotional, in this case, like you obviously are very emotional, it's not an easy thing to implement, but you have to start somewhere. So that's why I'm thinking you should start today, right? And there's small things you can do, but I think you gotta start by having a little bit more acceptance, right? Like, people often, or most of the time, don't really care as much as we like perceive them to care. Like, no one really cares that much about anybody, right? Like, they may laugh at you for 1 second and they don't think about you like 2 minutes after, but you're sitting there thinking about this for 30 minutes because you feel some sort of humiliation. But that's usually just a concept or a construct in your own head, right? So one of the tricks that works really well, have you ever looked into meditation?
Yeah, perhaps I could elaborate on what were you saying. I could give another quick example from my life. Okay. I got kicked out of my friend group, right? I had an argument with a girl, and she just leaked our conversation, and there was some, let me say, uncomfortable stuff, and I did not react negatively to it at all. I was laughing about it. Yeah, just as you were saying, I showed that I did not care about it. Yet they went on bullying me for another 2 months. They stopped just now, but they went as far as, my school has this thing that is called, I don't know, Valentine's Day mail, where you can send anonymous Valentine's Day postcards to people. And I got a postcard from this girl it was a blank piece of paper with a big penis drawn on it, and it said, Happy Valentine's Day, the day you will never get to celebrate. And so yeah, there are just some people that can't let go, even if you don't care, they just don't let go.
No, and I understand. Like, I'm not sitting here pretending like this is super easy to get through. I'm just trying my best to give you some techniques, right? Because in the end, you don't have, like, what choice do you have? You can sit there and be sad about it all the time, and it's not fair. It's definitely not fair that happened. But at some point, you have to make a decision actively to say, well, I can't let this affect my life anymore. Because in reality, like, you're not going to think about this in like 5 years and even care about it anymore. That's the honest truth. Anything that happens to you now, this phase of your life, you're not going to care in 5 years. So everything you do, you should always think about, well, I don't care about this moment. Yeah, maybe this moment sucks, which a lot of times it can, but you're always prepared for 5 years ahead of time. And if you think of life this way and think about, okay, well, I'm building myself for tomorrow. It's not just about how I feel right now. You're going to care less about this. And then you're going to start to get better and better results from life when you start to look at it this way. So even today, for example, so let's say last night, right? I mean, yeah, you felt a certain way about it. You felt like it's normal to feel a little bit of a detachment thing, especially like I said, if you're a younger guy, you're an emotional guy, like you're going to feel something. But if you keep sitting here and thinking about it forever, you're just wasting your time, and you're basically almost letting them win, right? Like you have to have enough, resistance within you to resist them. Like you can't let them win is what I'm trying to say. Like you have to be able to say, no, I'm not going to let them win. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do well in school. I'm going to focus on some goal. Like, I mean, like I said, you say you play games or whatever. In my honest opinion, like video games can be an escape tool, but it's not something you want to get lost in, because it kind of leaves a hole. Like you're not accomplishing anything in the real world, right? And the only way to build yourself out of the hole is by doing the thing that's the hardest, which is going to the gym, eating properly, not drinking, not smoking, doing any of those bad habits, avoiding bad people. And yeah, you might be alone for a little while, but then eventually you will find other people on that path to becoming better. You understand?
Yeah.
So this is something you have to do. Yeah. You have to do this, right? It's the only way for you to get out of this situation. And like right now, you're probably going to tell me like, oh, well, I can't do it. And you're going to give me another story. But the truth is, until you stop allowing yourself to basically create stories, because like, yeah, you can't control what happened to you before. Obviously you can't. It is what it is. And I'll be honest, it's pretty hard scenarios, right? But at some point you can't like keep thinking about it. You just got to move on. You have to move on and do what's right for you, right? So you have to go and do the things I'm telling you. You have to go focus on going to the gym, right? When you're strong, you're going to feel better. It'll take you a few months and you'll start to notice the results in the mirror, and you're going to genuinely feel good about yourself, right? If you like what you saw, subscribe to my channel and check out my website in the description to book a call. Thanks for watching.